So we're going to start with the Fool. The Fool here in this card is represented by Virochana. And Virochana is the Buddha who's at the center of the mandala. Why Virochana as the Fool? Well, I'm trying my best to be as succinct here as possible so that we can make this deck very usable by as many people as possible, because what's the point of a really fabulous tarot deck if you can't use it, right? So let's just say that in Buddhism, there is a principle that at a primordial level, every single one of us is a Buddha, okay? And we could also then say that this primordial Buddha, Virochana, is representative of that, okay? So if we were to say each of us has the potential for profound enlightenment, for complete enlightenment, for total liberation, Virochana is your dude, okay? He is the dude from that perspective. Pardon the floof. There's always more floof at this house. That said, every one of the Dhyani Buddhas, okay, so the Buddhas that are represented in the mandala, each of them has a gesture or a mudra. And this particular mudra, more floof, pardon me, is, and I do dust, I swear I dust. I just can't always dust constantly to keep up with the cat floof. Anyway, this is the wheel, you know, the wheel of Dharma, or the Dharma wheel, chakra samvara mudra, right? So it's the two first fingers together. It's not the typical one that you see necessarily. It is held in this awkward pose, right, in front of the heart, just exactly as he's doing it. And it's a teaching pose, okay? So it also symbolizes that we're going to learn from both the outward representation of the Buddha and the Buddha's teachings, but also from ourselves, okay? And the Dharma wheel, or the wheel of Dharma, is set in motion when we enter the path. See? It's clever. It's clever. So, you know, when we set the wheel of Dharma in motion by going on our path, we become the Fool. We become we become an embodiment on some level of our own primordial, at the level of the primordial Buddha within. How about that? So that's what this is representing. The glyph here is essentially an Om. I believe that's correct. Let me double check that. I feel like I have to, yeah, it is. It is. It's the Om, the sacred syllable. It's another way to represent an Om. There are other ways to represent it, which we'll also see here. For example, this is a Tibetan Om. So most of us are familiar with the Sanskrit version, but this is the Tibetan version. Okay, it looks like this syllable or this symbol here. There are also a lot of other Tibetan symbols that look similar, but we'll cover those one at a time as we get to them. But right now, this is what you need to know about Virochana as the Fool. The Fool is entering the path. That is also symbolized by the Dharma wheel and symbolized by this mudra here, which is about the teachings of the Dharma. And it's also about, it's about entering the path. It's entering the sacred path and learning from that sacred path.